about 3 years ago, Microsoft, maybe less, maybe they started adding these things called workspaces into F&O. And a workspace is a screen that is informational versus data-driven. So they started looking at the system and saying, you know, not everybody wants to be able to look at 10 screens. They really want to be able to look at one screen and treat it like an action screen. Give me the things that are going right, or, and I prefer to set up my workspaces as, give me the things that are going wrong. You know, give me the things that are out of tolerance. Give me the things where the KPI is out of whack, or the deviation is higher than a percentage or a dollar amount, etc. And then they expanded these workspaces, adding what they call manufacturing and inventory accounting screens behind them as almost like a drill down, but it's still a very high level drill down, again, heavy on imaging. And then fairly recently, they added the cost management Power BI. So Power BI is an interactive look into the database with drill down capabilities. To really give me a more managerial insight into inventory and WIP, and to see how costs are flowing across items across time. And people are using these as detailed supplements to financial statements. But now that cost accountants are realizing this functionality is out there and it's kind of hidden in the system, this has now become a lot of the launch pads for people using the system moving out. So this is what we call a workspace. A workspace in inside of D365. The system gives you a bunch of them, and then you can modify them. You can create your own workspaces of things that you want that are, you know, possibly unrelated. It's just your happy place that you go and you look at stuff, stuff being a technical word. And it gives me a nice way to start looking at my day. So when we talk about data and we talk about costing accuracy, probably the biggest bugaboo is when people release an item that does not have a cost. And so stuff gets jammed into production or jammed onto a purchase order, and there's been no thought, no processing, no validation of this item. So currently in my system, I have 39 released products that need configuration. They need to be tidied up and cleaned up. And then I have 46 items that have no active cost. And so we know straight out the chute, I have 46 things that are going to give me heartburn at any point in time. And then it tells me which items do I need to configure. And then it gives me these little menus, release products, and then high production variances. And then I have some inventory stuff here. So just off of my cost admin workspace, I get a very clear idea of the two things I need to do today. One is I need to go fix these 46 items. And two is high production variances. So if I look at this first graph, I have a listing of, and where should I start fixing production variances or start asking questions or start interrogating data? And it gives me out of the chute the top 10 production orders that have variances right now. But what this screen tells me is, given the production that I have happening, this is my estimated exposure. So $58,000 worth of, no, 630 plus 58, so whatever the heck that is. This estimated is what that production should be costing me. The realized is what it is costing me. So you can think of this as plan versus actual is the way that I use the language. I use the Apex terminology. So plan versus actual production, and then it's broken down into these cost group types: direct materials, direct manufacturing, and indirect. So I can see very clearly, very instantly, you know, my labor's out of whack. You know, what happened? Oh, yeah, we ran a second shift because our machine went down and we had to do some extra stuff. So we're clocking a whole lot of extra labor right now.